oya teni tateranga sondana 용화때 teni manje bata teni chiki linjong kwa hwese de tsimti 샴쿰 신큰 것들이 샤왈리카 좀큰 든지 렌도 참마가 든지 미만 보자다 냠도 감다시야 송알라 배 나랑라 갑주여스.
So today to have this opportunity to speak with you all, those of you who are working in caring for the dying and as nurses caring for the dying, I'm very happy to have this opportunity to speak with you today.
teni gargi sola teni sochong shia teni lekale ya ta tso thola teni nga so bog sa chala ta kashi yore ta tso na la teni nga romnyong gilonyang te shemnyong teni nga so la yang teni gargi sochong shia teni chongchong teni zios.
In terms of facilities specifically devoted to caring for the elderly, there are a few places like this in Tibet on a relatively small scale, and we also have one at my institution.
Teni nga so garge teni nyochong shisate teni ganso khangda teni semti shamkyong nika chigin ba teni ziens.
So at our institution, the facility that is for caring for the elderly and as well as caring for those who are facing death, this is in the same institution.
Tindi indi tinala yang garge so yang dan chiwen chiwala niwi ne kamna semkum la tini na to mambo shwa da yang jichak shwa da tindi na to yang mambo chagandus.
And so in our hospital, we often encounter, or the elderly people in our institution often encounter great fear and other issues that arise when they are confronting death.
Yena dini nga so boba garge so yena dini chama nangchula ta ba shinken tindi je dini nipshola ta panja manda mambo yo kire dini na shochini yang rigni ge chapar tezen da yo sa mare raji mare.
However, all of the patients in our hospital are Buddhists, whereas here in your facility there are probably people from all different cultural backgrounds. So this is one dissimilarity.
Yenayang tinin jowa mu yin sardi tini korang ga simkum ga rangjin tini tamcho matsangmalan jawi cha tini zayang yoris korang rigni mandawata tapa mandawata tini yenayang.
However, regardless of what a person's cultural background may be or what their religious faith may be, as humans we all share much in common in terms of the way that our psychology works. So it's for this reason that I do think that some of the methods or approaches that we use in the Tibetan tradition are relevant and potentially useful in other contexts as well.
Yang kasih tini yang taba madawi gimsin ta rini madawi gimsin ji yang pesho tana yang ta napa yin na nga so manji pa yin na yang tangling chi matapa na tindi yo jiris.
But there probably are among the methods and approaches that we use ones that are not so effective among patients and healthcare workers from other cultures on account of them not being able to be accepted by people from other cultures or other faith backgrounds.
So today
what I'd like to introduce to everyone is a couple of methods or approaches that I think would be very relevant and useful in this context. And so this is something that everyone is entitled to decide for themselves after having listened to what I have to say. If you don't think it's something that is appropriate in this context, then by all means leave it by the side.
Tani neterang kaja shoni korla shakense. Chikte nga tsu tani manje pada tani napati sola tani tangkan so so ranga kandishe gore ti korla dordi jegense.
So I'd primarily like to talk on 2 points today. The first being how patients and those caring for the patients should deal with their situation.
Tani ni pada nga tsu tani ta shiwala tani nyenken o tani ga korwa ti sola ta pena nga tsu tani tsimti shamkyung shi gosati shirtang ka tsaji na dawa chiksin chut Tela taga zegendo tan chawala dawa trigle menken gamati so tani muti sola tani khosola tani yang shawa kandishi kaja kandishi goti korla tani saka khaji shakens.
And then the second point I would like to talk on is how treatment should be, or how treatment could be given to those who are facing, they're very near to death. So in approaching death, we might define this as someone who is within a 6-month window of dying.
Tani tangbo nga tsu chuluk pata, tani shirtanga nga tsu tani shisukotoko mo, tani yang lirik jamba mo ta gang inanja, nga tsu sim shigang ngomanja wo zhing ngomanja boti chikpares.
So regardless of whether we're someone with religious faith, a religious practitioner, or just any other kind of person in society, in actual fact, as humans, our minds all work in the same way.
Tani ti nala nga so sim sama la tani njawi jimsen te chirezena pena ngama nga so tani anna mo so tani mantikshi bine kamna ndagji gorgresi.
Dagzina?
Ndagji. Ndagji na ko ndam pengi to ko mdo gji.
Oh, arrow.
Yeah. 다지리 팀 다지 배셨단거리지 되니 티 지티 코란 담보 되니 다 너말 그니 상다 말 그니 되니 탁바근들이 되니 찌니 되니 담보 시니 되니 자크레지 되니 제티 이나 티순도나 칼레 되니 코팔 소보린도 그래지
Cheers Khenpo 고마소.
어지겐즈나
Oh, the bow.
Yeah. 다르고 죽고 사마리 테라티니 샹마르 그고래 샹 그고래 티니 샹 그니디니 야 탁바지 그래 드니 탁바티 담보 시니 드니 찌요나양 드니 티숫 갈레 소나티니 탁바데 마르 갈레 소보차 온 거래 야
Deni Lopochagni?
Oh,
okay. So Khenpo has just given an example, a metaphor, which I was a little bit unsure of. In ancient society, for example, bows and arrows were used, and in order to make a bow, it's necessary that the piece of wood be bent, it be curved. And in order for this to happen, to begin with, the rope connecting the bow needs to be wrapped very, very tightly. And it begins being wrapped very tightly, but over a period of time, the tightness relaxes.
Pena ngarang su chula lo jong sinkin su inna, teni tangbo korang chula, teni tangbo korang nawa nala, teni te chuluga teni 돈 대서 참모 약보 신이 되니 드리제용의 값을 내 거란 거 심라 할레바 답바 약보용 되니 거란 거 금겹고 그래 냠림시 고래 삼니 심테페 되니 담보레지 레티소리랑 본조나 내 거란 거 금겹니 종들 약보시 마탐나 되니 심테 갈레 팔 소보렌도 그래서
So it's the same with a person who that 것도 담보이는 인비값을 것도 쳐봐 에인 캔보라.
koran chubalin koran chubarene tini koran ko chu nawa nala go yong kapse tini koran ko ma chu chubazi na jengni chubazi na.
So for a religious practitioner who is motivated to practice religion, to meditate, etc., when they first turn themselves to this practice, their mind is very tight. However, by engaging in this kind of practice over a period of time, then their minds become increasingly loose and supple.
Tani koran ko nyamlinda tso yakboshi matana tani koran kale sem ganala tani kale thopo chane tani zondi so matapa tani gomjab jeta tani tso yakbo matapa tani thoborin dores.
Oh, actually, I should say that the practice of meditation and other kinds of practice keep the mind in a tight and therefore well-functioning state. However, if a patient is not able to do things, if a practitioner doesn't practice meditation well and diligently, then over time their mind will become loose and relaxed. So, not a good thing.
Shekanga nala lehka lenkanzi na tani tangbo korang zangkur tangbo shekanga nala lehka le sandrowi kapsa tani nima tangbo la tani semje mambo sha tani mambo tab tani chak mambo thong tani shina korang ka sem ga thola hal leba tani sem ga thola tani njikchak tani sem ga thola mabdeva tani mambo yongore se tangbo tani nima nipa da samba da zangkur samba jiba nala kale te korang Lomdro teni jini Zankor Kashi jini teni korang semche mambo teni set dena te korang choraji jimenke regres.
And for someone who works in a slaughterhouse or an abattoir during their first week of work, where they have to kill many animals and cut them up and deal with a god of blood, they experience a great feeling of fear and terror. However, over the weeks, as they become more accustomed to this kind of work, they cease feeling such fear and terror.
Then Rabozakat Penanga so Gansukan Ganala teni Lekalenken teni Tendizina, teni Robashin Tendizina Tambonga so Gargetso Tambo tin Nala Yong, teni Gargetso Nad Mambona, Zupo Depo Me, Semkum Kotola, Dungur Mamboyo, Tendishina, Tambonga so Tesumtongi Capsateni, Semnala. Halipaga teni te chora mambo yongore nyangji yang yongore njiksta yang yongore tendi yakbo dugbo chama mambo yongore se tambo kapsa.
And it's similar for workers in an aged facility during the early stages of their work, when they first arrive in this environment, dealing with a lot of patients, their sickness, suffering of all different kinds. They experience a lot of different reactions, some of them positive, some of them negative, fear and terror on the one hand, but also empathy and compassion.
Teni mankang ganala teni lekalengeng mambata teni manjipa teni zina Uncle so young tambo, Napa Mambo Tong, Teni Napa Mambo Shi, Teni Chumsanti so young, Teni Dungur Mambo Sam Mambo Nu, Tendishina Tambo, Penam, Mankanganola, Zankor Tambo, Zankor Nipa, Dawa Tambo, Tendi Kabla, Tendi Mambo Tong Dena, Teni Semganala, Markipayang Mambo Yongore, Jistariang Mambo Yongore, Yang Yarji Mambo Yongore, Chora Yakbo, Chora Dubo, Mambo's Yongoduzi, Tambo Caps.
And so for doctors and nurses who work in this environment, at the beginning, seeing everyday patients suffering, witnessing their deaths, dealing with the family members who undergo grief, seeing tears every day, over in the first stages of doing this kind of work, again, there are many different conflicting kinds of emotions: happiness, sadness, compassion, fear.
Teni Mukashila Zankur Kashi, Mukashila Dawa Kashi, Tendi Muson Dagmadu, Mukashila Zankur Kashi Gini, the Niti Tsora de Mebachakare, Mukashila Dawa Kashi Gini, the Nit Tsora de Mebachane, Teni Mambo Na, Mambo Teni Shi, Teni Mambo Semdu So Tendishi Dena, the Tsoragage, Jitariame, Nyanjiame, Gangang Mebatindis Kanalandro.
And everyone's different, but then it tends to be that in a space of time, whether it be a few weeks for some people or several months for others, these initial feelings tend to go away. So the healthcare workers become desensitized. They no longer feel particularly strong feelings of fear or compassion.
Teni ting at so moon draw a matsaman jandaris and at so tama simcum go teni chunitis, Zranquili, simcum go teni ramshung chunitis.
And this pattern is something that all humans experience. You might say it's a natural law of how all humans operate.
Teni tea caps teni at so me simcum de para halibag teni the dos, Taji Hertunganama Shauchi. teni rene teni kyorna rene shawagang yang dribna drib mamuba drib mandoba teni gati drib gona mi jamba korno machina so rangandoni drib mataba teni rabo chayongandus.
And at this point, it's very easy for workers in this situation to become very discouraged, very dispirited, not wanting to undertake action without strong encouragement from others, in general rather pessimistic. Negative in outlook.
Teni ti kapsanga zum jite teni jirgin del hopo chaksona teni ndam hengona teni tam peya yongo mar korang shib me par chakchar de da chigbores.
So you could say it's just like shooting an arrow. When the bow has become loose, it's not possible to eject it.
Teni ti kapsanga zo teni nag teni mak te so teni kandi shegar na tichu ngichin chiganala tinchi ze tichu ngichin chiganala teni jete teni jigin de par tambo shine yankir teni dom go gore yankir domna teni koran tambo re ne teni ndamhenna shirio paten de chaong gores.
So what does an archer have to do in this situation? From time to time, at regular intervals, it's necessary for the rope or the string around the bow to be tightened once again so that the arrow can be properly shot.
대당 잡보시네 가서 심컴 라양 되니다 양나 남긴 된디고 그래 양나 니마 니진 장커치거나 라싱 잡보 된디가 심컴 라 종드르자고 그래서.
And it's the same with our minds too. It's necessary that we train them, that we exercise them from time to time at regular intervals.
Teni ti kapsiteni semkam la teni jongdor machna teni mamba yena pena mamba sim gillik tini resona teni shawa gang jumna yang so ranga harchun tini me pa chaksona teni leka lewi kapsiteni nang pena leka leni man jimbala nor non-sure wanda oda yang teni sosola teni ta di zoba simgana la zoba mi bigim sengi garge sola teni kozo kaja mambosha na tela nyan mata banda oda teni khyamsang yoni yang korang so kaja dubbo teni mambosha na teni te sola yakbo nyan mata teni te sola namgir soba teni je ne teni garda mambo yongres.
It is the same with our minds. For example, doctors who work in this kind of environment, if they don't train their minds for the job that they're doing, then it's possible after a period of time that they will grow negative in their outlook. And on account of this negative outlook and a sense of discouragement, may be distracted in their work and do mistakes in caring for patients. At the same time, they might find themselves feeling impatient and not able to listen to patients and their needs, or alternatively, when they go home, taking out all of their frustration on people in their family and then causing troubles in this way.
Tani simkum go jongdar te ti kapsit ni go re te ina simkum go jongdar chia de la mambo zndo pe mambo ndo ina nga cho tani nangchu na la ina tani ta cho nga cho manje pa da mamba dan rewa yong kan go jongdar nge samda ni ndo sam kan do.
In terms of the different methods of training the mind that are available, there are a great number. However, in my mind, there are two in particular that are of particular use and benefit to doctors and nurses and other people working in healthcare.
Tani tapsi ni te nge samlo ta nga cho mamba zi ina tani korang tapa yongken zi ina nangchula tapa yongken ina ishi chulula tapa yongken ina yana tele jamba chulula tapa yana chulula tsawa ni tapa menken tindi zi ina yang mo korang ga ringne ga jabjong ta tapa gandhi ina yang te kyabr mandu ti tapsi ni te ma tsangma ga pesho ta nan zhigandos.
And both of these methods are ones that can be applied to anyone regardless of what their religious background is. So regardless of whether they have one particular religious faith or another, or if they have no religious faith whatsoever, these methods can be used by everyone equally.
Tani nangba ga inna pe na nangba khorang ga namgir te ga rezina odang ngarang ga tani tapsi te khorang ga pesho tangona tani kyorang indamanda ngarang la ngala tapachi go rezanda da yana kyorang ga tand tapsi de pesho tangna tani kyorang chubachi go rezanda tindi nangba nangla tindi zeng mare je nangba tindi samsir tindi yo mare gantar tindi musla inna korang tapa yunke inna menke inna o korang la pan yabo tona tini korang ka tapshin de sis peshu tangna rigore e korang tapa shena choko mashina choko je nangba taba chimbo tini korang so samloti tindi je par kapshi yo pa tindi zres.
So in Buddhism, we don't say that just because you make use of my method that therefore you have to have faith in my religious tradition, or that if you make use of our methods that therefore you should become a Buddhist. This isn't our attitude. What our principle is, particularly in the Mahayana path within Buddhism, is that anyone can make use of our methods if they find them useful and beneficial, and it is not necessary that people be Buddhist or become Buddhist in order to make use of what are universally beneficial methods.
tindi indi nga son taba chimbo tini nangba saji pa tapsi de ne pesho tang ichok mechok samban rawo ta tini nge te tapsi tang nga nangba tini hloma tindi zire enro samba tindi tokba go mares.
So there's no need for doubt or fear about whether in making use of a particular Buddhist method you will thereby become a Buddhist or will be a Buddhist in so doing.
Tene ngaso shertang ngaso ler chama te gangina te shisoko tola yo pi ler so gangina te koso soso leka te tene zabushini lego do gangina go rete di nani karchishu te ngaso chikte tene mamba tene ni te girgen te korang ka tene girgen te mi mamboz ka maung bin danlam la driva yore tene mamba yana korang mi chechok tang driva yo pa indi tene koso leka te pe zabzab shine tene lego te hale ba karchim bores.
So in general, regardless of what occupation or profession we're talking about, it's important that they be carried out with great carefulness and great caution. However, of all the different professions and occupations, the two professions that require the most carefulness would be that of doctors and healthcare workers and teachers. Teachers from the point of view that their work bears on the future of individuals, and doctors and healthcare workers for the reason that their work bears on the life of individuals.
Tendri indi girganda mamba nita tin nangni jang mamba yena deni ta namjin teni korang la sim tambu yo pa sholo ko deni ju nesr jamba chung deni sim deni yoga deni shi mate pi sim tambu yo pa ta Garte teni sholo ne de nesr deni shone sim la ma ki ban da deni yongna lamsang te par tashu shi toya ga tapshi de mamba la yinda manda yo go gres.
And in particular, for doctors, it's very important that they have stable minds, calm minds. So if they find themselves disturbed and affected by various things that happen in the external world, it's important that they have at their disposal methods or means for dealing with these disturbances as soon as they happen.
Tene ngachu sajan di tini netsertenge hago ya marje mankangdi ina tene ngachu zambalang ka thola mankang mamboz tene pamjur tang pe rera chimbon doze pamjur tang rera chimbo yona tene mamba chogo dichu tong ko nala leka mambo le go ndu tene leka de le mathna tene sosorang ka sem ko nala kebo mayong tene kebo mayong na tene leka ka tholan tishor mambo yong tene rene pe kamo mambo yong dos.
I'm not exactly sure of the specific situation at this hospital, but in general, all over the world, there are a lot of economic pressures on hospitals, and so doctors and healthcare workers are required to do a lot of work in very short periods of time. So for this reason, they often experience feelings of unhappiness, and this brings serious consequences to their work.
Tendri indi ta nga so yang sacha jamba na la teni mamba mambo teni leka na ni bujje Tsultrim teni yang mamba mambo rang chok cho yanda teni na ton haliba chapchin mambo yong dos.
So in the world, among doctors, there are high rates of resignation from jobs, and also high suicide rates as well.
Teni teso tsangma te teni mambaga ranga semkham la teni mdira yopa teni rendu tena mambaga semkham te detang yamba te pe kar chimbo rendu.
And both of these phenomena are linked to the state of the doctors or care workers' mental health. And so in actual fact, the mental health of doctors and healthcare workers, their own mental health, is extremely important.
Teni tati indi ti nala nge tapshi ni ze ade gangar zina chikte nga zo teni te jambanyir jako gom zini tata Amerika nga la pe jachimbo tsama ga nyamlin yo pa tere ti pantokores.
So one of the methods that I'm suggesting could be universal, could be very beneficial in this context, is mindfulness meditation, which is very popular in America and in the West these days.
Teni ti nyamlin chisar te nyamlin yabo teni shena teni te yimba ti nangba ga re te ina te koranga nangba la ta pe me na ndikere koranga nyamlin yabo shini gom yabo jabna teni nga so sem te namjin sem ma ke ba tang sem ga na la nam tok mangbo tang teni mangbo yong teni gongmo nyin na nyin ma khak ba ta teni mangbo yong ba te so changma ti yabo takshu shi thap gare.
So even though the methods behind mindfulness meditation are derived from Buddhism, it's not necessary that a person be a Buddhist to practice mindfulness. This is not necessary at all. However, by training oneself in the practice of mindful meditation, it's possible to address all kinds of negative thoughts and moods that arise in the course of one's work, problems of insomnia and other typical situations can be well brought under control using mindfulness. Tanjamra mambo yore pokuchu nala ena namba shinala pe mambo nduda ena te America ndila sama pesho tande ya ting jikundu zita tinji te mamba so tela nyema rirela pe na chusu shekanda karma nishinda yana gomo mar nyawi ne kamna karma nishinda tinji gomjabna te panto halipa yakbo yongundu. Of course, there are a great number of meditation techniques that can achieve the same outcome. However, it's absolutely fine if doctors and nurses and healthcare workers practice this kind of meditation, mindfulness practice. It's something that could be beneficial if practiced every day for a period of 20 minutes or half an hour, 20 minutes before you go to bed at night, for example.
Teni ti gomthapti tange derang otu shi gmenzi teni ngaso sajandela pe chapja chimbo rendu te parchiche namba shi yojeres.
So because mindfulness is very popular in America, I'm not going to introduce the specifics of it today.
Teni ta nipa de teni tapshi nipa de teni nyangji gomya te tenge te tushakens.
However, the second method I'd like to talk about is compassion meditation, and I'd like to go into a bit more detail about this.
Teni ozhigo teni zhigin zina takpa lopore sona teni takpa ngetari dom gogori zini shayo ti domya ga tapshi te teni nga so sem teni lopore ne nishik me pandawo chaksong ne kapna teni sem par tambo da nishik yoya teni yongwala chigde teni tambanye jak gomtere nipa de nyarjires.
So if, for when our minds become loose and dispirited and discouraged, just like a bow which has a loose string, then the means we have at our disposal for tightening the string again and making the bow effective are mindfulness meditation on the one hand and compassion meditation on the other.
Tani mankang da tani gansu gargesu sa gansu kan tini teni nyarji yakbo gomkhin tenrizi yenna tete khorik pe yakshu te teni rezi tinala teni nak dungmar mambo yonkhan da tani de geba dungmar yonkhan ka teni machang re teso la teni soso rang nyarji comparaton rogore gom yakbo jamkim jongdor yakbo tangaz yenna te khorik yakshu te rezi.
So, in actual fact, hospices and facilities for aged care are the absolute best kind of environments for cultivating this kind of practice, compassion practice. In aged care and in hospices, we witness a great deal of suffering, the suffering of illness, the suffering of aging, the suffering of death. And so for this reason, these are really the best environments to cultivate this practice.
Tani karti nyarji yakbo jongder machine kanzigina tani ganso kanda mankang tani ngaso nyarji malo lak joksa tani kori yang te terezi tinala mi mambo tani mambo dungur yong kenga mambo thong de tani nyima khashi ge jila tani misem kanala nyarji rawo da tani go chora tsane me pa tani shegerezi karti jongder shi matbna yang kori dikshu terezi te.
However, for a person who's not able to train in compassion and make their compassion strong, then in an opposite way, aged care facilities and hospices are places where people are most likely to lose their compassion. If one's training in compassion isn't strong, then every day being faced with suffering and people dying very quickly, one's first feelings and senses of compassion can quickly wither away.
Ti yendi tini ngacho ganso kanda nyarji te ngacho ganso kanda tani mankante ngacho nyarji ke changshia ga tani sacha yakshu te yang reta yang nyarji meba shisha ga dukshu te yang reta nyenka tindi yosa sacha tindi sacha musarwa tindi rendu jamba dan ra mandu.
So, depending on which way we look at it, we could say that aged hospitals for the elderly and hospices are both places that are the best for the cultivation of compassion and also the worst for the loss of compassion.
Tani sacha jambala ngacho nyarji kya ga korkup chakin tindi yang mambo yo mareta nyarji marolak ya ga tani chakin tindi mambo yang yo maris sacha jambala.
In other contexts, you might say that they don't provide us such opportunity to cultivate our compassion to the same extent. But on the other hand, they also don't provide a potential context in which we could lose our compassion to the same extent either.
Tani tangbo nga cho tani ganso kanga nala yenandra tani mankang yenandra ti nala ndroni leka lewi kapsa tani tangbo yaran ndrowi kapsa tani ngarang ko khoik ti tini re samba tani nguzan te go ndusi yakbos.
So it's really important that people who are going into these contexts to work realize or recognize from the beginning the nature, the special nature, the characteristics of the environment that they're going into.
Tani tangbo nga cho tinala mandru koni nga cho khorik te tinra yemba shisongna tani so rang sem kanala trabjuk te china te phantok yores.
If we are able to recognize the kind of environment that we're going into before we go into it, then it's possible for us to prepare ourselves psychologically, and this will be of some significant benefit.
Tani tonda nipada tani nga cho khorik tinala lepcharwi jini tani khorik tinane tani nga cho gum gyapi nerkap ko gum gyawya ga tani chakin ti khorik tinane lengo gres.
But then after having arrived in this context, then in terms of our meditation on compassion, our compassion practice, we really need to draw the content for our meditation from the context that we are working in.
Tani nyarji zeyate nga cho mdumur ta damba ta tani mchobo da tani zila tani nyarji ke gore ma so pa tani mdumur me pa ta tani mo tani chu tani chakpo tani zila tani ke maris mshikbo da tani mchu jamba tani zila tani ke maris.
Compassion is something that we generate in respect or based on our contact with people who are poor, not well off, suffering, miserable, etc. It's not a state of mind that we generally cultivate in respect of objects who are well off, healthy, rich, etc.
Tani nga cho mamba silam chona namgin nyama takbar nyama regen nala tani karma nishi chu ka tani zila jongder tez gondo mato te mena tani nga cho ti jongder te namgin tini jongder te mena nga cho natun tani tam chabine kamna lamsang tani nyarji ke gona ke tam ko maris.
So for doctors and for other staff members, compassion practice should ideally be cultivated for a period of 20 minutes or half an hour each day. If we're not able to practice in this way, then it's likely that when we encounter a challenging situation in our work context, that we won't be able to immediately kick into dealing with it in a compassionate way.
Tini nyarji jongdurchine ngasola nyarji yakboz ki sona tini koranga lerka te pe na gargila tini nyorchong shia ta rogba shia ta tini mangkang na la tini napa la tini rogba shia te tini ha leba koranga rentang chan shawa rentang chan tini yembaz koranga le kali nguzin top gore.
But for someone who is able to cultivate strong compassion, then they will find increasingly that their work among the sick, their work among the suffering is something that is of extreme value. This is something that they will increasingly come to realize.
Tani ti kapsu soso ranga tini nguzin de top sona tini lerkande jo zurjetang damba ta lerkande lapchin yimba tini ziko tini ta chorwa yungres.
And once a person is able to realize this value in their work, then they will start to develop an understanding of their work as being something that is a great honor, a very wonderful thing to be able to do.
Tani tindi indi tape na mangkang nanda gansu kang nang la makashi la tani nyamare la mochu moni tindi zila tani rongpa yakbo shit sona tani korang nyama takbar ti tini tela tene tini rangala ta simgarwa hazina manjukan yitsimbi tini nawate yungore.
And based on this, a person who works in a hospice context or in a facility for aged care will find that in the course of a day to be able to assist even one or two people is something from which they can derive a great sense of satisfaction.
Tini yitsimbi nawate yongsona tini nyama takbar korang lethan drone shabanzina lethan drone kimlan rowi kapsu korang tsora tini takbar tini to sem debo tenti yongore tini yongdi tini nyama nipala yang yar lethan rowi nerkam na ta nge terang tini mala rokpa chigo sama rawa da rokpa chia korkub yongore sambi tsora dewa te yongore.
And feeling like this every day, when a person finishes work, they will go home with in a happy mood, feeling that they have done useful things in the day. And then the next day, when they begin to go to work, they will also feel a sense of happiness, feeling that, again, another opportunity is coming for me to do good and satisfying work.
Tini tela tini ti tsura dewa tela tini koranga jikchakdang tini samba o napala samba yana ti gargila samba yana ti so sama parse dore.
And in this way, feelings of fear born of the environment, as well as frustration towards patients, frustration towards others in the context, will gradually disappear.
Tani ta ola nga tsu ti jongdurchia tapshin dordizing of Trushekins.
And in the time that we've got remaining, I'd just like to give a brief introduction to the actual specific.
Tani tambo nga tsu boba chu na la shamdang nyar jiez in the nisha kres.
In general, in Tibetan Buddhism, we talk about compassion as existing in two components. So loving kindness as one of them and compassion as the other.
Tani tambo nyarji zi ate kandrizela zegreze na pena nga tso napaye na gargi na tindi mdubo tindi zi nga tso mukum tongi kapsu tani sem ga nala tani me te tani ta dungwar te me pa chane tani re sona sam tani te me ti dungwar te tarta lamsang par me sona sambi tani ta sem ga nala tani rewa zi nandra mumba zi nandra tani na tsura shikshin zi lebgare tani tela zegreze.
So in respect to the second of these components, compassion, we understand this to be the feeling when faced with someone who is suffering, an old person, a sick person, someone who is miserable, the feeling or the hope, the desire, the aspiration, a very strong sense in our mind, a wish that this person be free from suffering as soon as possible. This wish or this aspiration is what we refer to as compassion.
샴바지라데 강레제나 가서 되니 양 된디가 못 옛날에 되니 던조 옛날에 된디가 심진전 통이 값스 되니 거랑 대야 맹큰 등머도 용큰 된디지나 되니 거랑 그 등머데 파르 메네 되니 대와 양딱 받든지 톱나 삼바다 거랑라 람상 되니 대와 페나 나파이나 거랑 그 나테 메네 되니 리포 대상가 대와 된디지 람상 톱소나 삼비 셈나라 초라 시트abo 된디 용거를 대라 샴바지근도.
And with loving kindness, we are talking about the wish that after, in respect of a human or an animal or another kind of being, that after their suffering has been eliminated, that they attain happiness, and attain happiness as soon as possible. So this could be a wish directed towards a patient that their illness be healed and that they recover health. This kind of wish for their happiness and well-being is what we call loving kindness.
되니 남긴 가서 초라티니 보대 가서 파마다 되니 가서 보다 보모다 되니 수수 쪽보다 된지 금때 초라 되니 등으로 용나 되니 가서 초라티 깨그래 마도 바 메잠발라 되니 그 초라테 빼 용용레스.
In general, both of these, loving kindness and compassion, are states of mind that we find easy to generate in respect of those who are close to us, such as our own parents or children or our own friends, for example. However, when suffering occurs in someone else more remote from us, then we find it more difficult to generate these states of mind.
이나 가데 가서 종들시나테 종들시지요르지 종들시나테네 가서 미참마라 페나 가서 수소고 파마다 소소고 되니 보다 보모라 되니 샴당냐지 깨안라고 미 잠바 참마라 깨양 되니 종들시지요르지.
However, it is absolutely possible for us to train ourselves, and there are training methods for training ourselves to be able to look upon anyone we come across in the same way that we would our own parents or children.
되니 종들시야 탑시티 간디레즈나 된가서 베나 나파 옛날에 가르기 옛날에 하나 되니 잠바 되니 심진 둥을 되니 용큰 되니즈도 당봉아 좀 먹었다고 그랬어.
So the first thing we need to do, regardless of whether it's a person who is sick, whether it's a person who's old, or just someone who is experiencing a different kind of suffering, first thing we need to do is look at them with our eyes.
되니 먹었다니 디 지랑아서 셈거더니 삼로다니 다 뭐였나 되니 던조였나 디 거랑 것들이 등을 거랑 된디 연구요나 디 거랑라 등을 간디 쳔보요 삼네더니 소소디
And after we have looked at them with our eyes, then we need to think in our minds, reflect carefully and in a detailed way about the precise nature of the suffering it is that they are undergoing.
배나가서 되니 강속한 거 나라다 가르게솔라 등을 만보 차ян다다 야나 만kan 거 나라 만발라 그때 나발라 등을 만보 쇼한테 좀 먹게 약보다 심나라 약보 저네 되니가서 곰잡니 tel라 삼로탄 고레스.
So if we're in a facility for aged care or if we're in a hospital where there are many sick patients, then after we have looked at the suffering people or person with our own eyes and remembered them in this way, then later when we go home or when we begin our practice, we recall them, we bring them to mind and reflect about the nature of their suffering.
되니 탑시가 치슈 대강에서나 되니 실당 가서 뭐 잠바다 되니 심신 잠바 되니 등을 되니 망보 용큰 되니 가서 남긴 통고요래지 가서 마타나야 되니 통고요래 말씀나한테 시고요래 레디 디솔라 초라 침보 용 탑고요 말에 때부터 빠텔라 짐승식 요래지.
In general, we know and we see people and others suffering all the time, even if we don't deliberately go to find it or we don't deliberately turn our minds to thinking about it, we know that others suffer. However, in general, it's not something that really makes a big impact in our minds, and there is a reason for this.
되니 디 냐르지가 종들시 빠텔라 콤바 땅보 콤바 니파 콤바 섬바즈니 되니 름바슴도스.
In terms of our meditation practice, there are 3 stages.
디 름바 당보데 가서 되니 심진 그 능을 저 먹었다니 심라 약보 작지데리지 거름 당보데리.
So the first stage is to witness with our own eyes the suffering of another or the suffering of others, and to plant this image or recollection strongly in our own minds.
되니 가서 능을 용한 게뭐 있나 되니 mam봄통 먹었더니 mam봄통 되니 샘 그돌아 거란 그 능을 데라 도나 맙시나 되니 가서 공라샤 빠진다 되니 가서 샘데 파랄 호보착네 되니 먹었더니 mam보시야다 mam보더니 능을 mam봄통나 먹은통나 샘 그나라 소라가게 메바디 착그레스.
However, if we witness with our own eyes the various types of suffering experienced by many different people and beings, but we don't pay attention to it, then ultimately our minds won't be affected in any way, and they will become like the bow whose rope becomes loose.
되니 다 곰바니파데레스 곰바니파데 되니 가서 가리 삼고레제나 당아서 뭐 잠바틴디즈라 등을 용야 등을 mambo 용근도 코란테니 등을 침보 요사레 삼니틴디 삼나가서 샘그 삼나야 때라 되니 녀지테 양케고나 때츠 카본라고 요레스.
So moving on to the second stage, just knowing that other people or others experience suffering is usually not adequate for us to really generate compassion.
덴디 인데 가서 삼로 땅서 나서 되니 탑식식시니 삼로 땅서 잠바즈 되니 값서 고 페쇼 땅고 그래.
So it's necessary for us at this point to use a specific means or method of reflecting or thinking about the suffering we've witnessed.
되니 데가리지나 페나 소소랑가 파마 뭐 카시데 코랑랑가 파마라 할리바 되니 가요르지 뭐 카시데 코랑가 되니 보다 보모라 할리바 가요르지 되니 뭐 카시데 코랑가 보다 보모다 파마 레장 양 되니 코랑가 쪽본다다 뭐 잠바텔라 제동 자보요레 강터 코랑가 되니 파마다 보다 되니 쪽보 소나니 제동치 잡슈고 뭐어데 되니 나반데 때 옛나 간진도 산네테 삼고레스.
So the way, the method that we use is, different people have different relationships in their life which they regard with more or greater affection. For some people, they have great affection for their father, others for their own children, others have a special sense of affection for their friends. In any case, we need to select from all of the significant relationships in our life the person for whom we feel the greatest and strongest amount of affection, and imagine that the patient we have witnessed, or the suffering person we have witnessed, were this person for whom we feel such great affection.
드니 양 나랑가 아파데 인삼 야나 나랑가 아마데 인삼바 야나 보고 총총에 나더니 뭐든 나랑가 보고 인삼 드니 나랑가 보고 따뜻한들이 난나요 삼 야나 나랑가 아만들이 나요 삼 드니 인삼니 드니 삼고 그랬어.
So we need to think, what if it were this patient, this suffering person were my own father? What if it were my own mother? Or what if the suffering ill person were my own child? How would I feel? What would it be like?
때 돌라 말이지. 돌라 가서 아파 말이 아마 말이 보고 말이 제때 때 가서라 초로와 약보 용야거든요. 용들 그 탑식식 그래서.
Of course, we know it's not our mother or father or child who is undergoing this suffering. However, we practice the contemplation in this way so that we can generate a particularly strong emotional response.
다른 딜리장 때니 때 야슈데 강아지나 나랑 인삼고 그래서 나랑 인세데 나빠다 나랑 가르기도 나랑 인삼나더니 서로 잔다만라 용 그래서.
There's an even better contemplation we can do, and that is imagine that it were ourselves in the place of the suffering or ill person. What would it be like if it were us in their position?
Tini tongu thola te ngarang ya marezi te ngarang mari mi jambazri jete ina nga so sem go tindi sam jana te sem go thola te chura chimbo yongya la phanto hali pa yore.
So even we know that in reality it's not us, it's someone else who's undergoing the suffering, by contemplating or reflecting in this way, it's possible for us to experience a very strong response, a very unordinary response. So this is the second stage of this practice.
Ngaranga apa mareze ngaranga ama mare marite yinayang ta ngaranga tini phama yimba da ngaranga phama da khorang cho tini jawa resi korang janja resan ni sam go res.
So the third stage involves us recognizing that the person experiencing suffering isn't our mother and isn't our father. However, they are equal to our mother. They are the same as our mother or father in all respects.
Tenin janja rezina kanga thonin jaga rezi korang chon ramnyim rezi kon ramnyim zena kariga thonin jaga rezina teni tonta ni ga thonin gimchun ni ga thonin jaga yo rezi.
So in saying that they are equal to our parents, what do we actually mean by this? In what ways are they equal? Primarily we are talking about this from two perspectives.
Teni gimchun tangbo de ka rezina teni ngarang da teni ngarang ga phama da chokbo da khoso yena teni nga chola dungmer chungchung tenji yina teni nga chog par teni tanglin che ga mare dungmer chungchung yina teni par pang ge yore te simchin sama janja rezi ma sadang se yina teni dungmer ha lepa ga chungchung tenji yina dungmer chimboda kalando chikyong do ko mare da dungmer chungchung yina do ko mare te ngerang do ko mare ngarang ka phama do ko mare tin napan di kyang do ko mare samni sam go re tin janja re ngarang ga dungmer do ko mare tin jawo jini napa di kyang do ko mare ngarang ga dungmer chimbo ma cha dungmer chungchung yang mena ga yore te napa te yang ga yore garge te yang ga yore ti thanin ramnyim re sam go re.
So the first respect in which they are equal to ourselves or to our parents or children or friends is in terms of their lack of desire to experience suffering. Just like ourselves and just like those who are dear to us, the person who is suffering has absolutely no desire whatsoever to experience suffering. And when we talk about suffering, we're not just meaning suffering that is of a very great extent. Even small forms of suffering, none of us want to endure. So we first need to contemplate the equality of the suffering person and ourselves and those who are dear to us from this perspective, that is the perspective of having no desire whatsoever to undergo suffering.
Tini tonda nipa de ganazina nipa de yang ngarang ina tini ta dewa gangdang gangnan jikting ge kamla yopi dewa chimbo da yona lendo dewa chung tindi ina nga cho yona do ko ri pena nima chabo shario ne kapse tini long de serwon da yab yona tindi ge tini dewa chung ina nga cho do ko re 양나 페나 사샤 장무 딘디 요사 디초라 드니 긍카 장무 임비 값스 드니 니마테 샤로나 좀보라오 샤로나 아주 대양 데니다 나랑솔라 요나가 요리 딘디 그 대와 총총 대초양 네 나랑 저 사망 아츠 랑라 요나가 요리 딘다 와즈 그 나랑가 아파 나랑가 아마 나랑 그부 또 상마이나 드니 대와 총총 있나 코랑라 요나 강킨 따다그레지 대인자 보스그 되는 가서더니 나빠이나 가르기나 티 코소나 대당다 버리 참마 짐슨 찍바레 삼리 삼고레 대 종들시야가 탑시시 보마레 티 동고 돌라틴디제스.
And the second way in which we reflect on the suffering person being equal to ourselves is in terms of their desire or preference for happiness. So ourselves, we naturally have a preference for happiness, and not just happiness and pleasantness that is of a very great extent, but even very small and minor forms of happiness, such as a bit of sunshine and a pleasant breeze, or in the midst of winter, the warmth of the winter sun. In all of these situations, we would prefer happiness, to prefer to have these pleasant situations. And this preference for happiness is not something that just we have, it's something that our fathers and mothers and friends experience too, and so too does the person who is suffering, the patient or the old person, have a preference for happiness of both big happiness and small happiness. So we need to contemplate and reflect on this, and in so doing, generate an appreciation for their equality with ourselves in this way. And this is not just something that we do for the sake of a contemplative exercise. In actual fact, this is how things are.
Teni tsama tindin rabo yena nga so tsama tindin ramnyum ko teni tsama dewa teni yona ga teni dungwe mepa yena teni ga tsama tindin ramnyum indi teni nge tinani makashizla teni dewa yona ngarang ga teni me mambozla dewa yona mena nge tela samlo matang teni makashizla dungwer mena ngarang ga teni me mambo tele jang me mambo jartong mambola dungwer yona nga marga me o teni shiwate ngarang gimsun mendu samne nge teni tarnga teni nga chung imbani tag barta teni go teni samlo tere teni samlo to nora rendu samne ngunjum she gores.
So based on cultivating our understanding of the equality of others with ourselves in terms of these two respects, firstly their lack of desire for suffering, and secondly their preference and desire for happiness, we then move on to recognizing that a desire on our part that some people be happy, that we would have concern for a certain number of people to be happy but not care about the happiness of others, or that we would care that some people not encounter suffering but we wouldn't feel particularly concerned about anyone beyond this, is in fact unjustifiable. That even though since we were very young, right up until the age we are now, our approach has been to think in this way, in actual fact, this is a mistaken way of thinking. It's an incorrect way of thinking. And so this third stage of practice is aimed at arriving at this kind of recognition.
nonchir ka samlo ze norwa ti ngarang nyang je ga teni chapkhung te chong den ma to me pa shin du ze te me pa shia ga jimsen de ngarang norwa ga samlo te re teni nge norwi samlo te tarta norwa yem ba shi sar ti teni ja che tang ne teni nge shamda nyar je ga teni chapkhung te teni par chembo she go ndo samne teni sam go re.
And we reflect on the fact that what has restrained our scope of compassion up until this point has been this mistaken view, that is, a lack of appreciation of the equality of all others and ourselves in this way. So we then recognize that by overturning this mistaken understanding or this mistaken view, it is possible for us to expand our scope of compassion and make it very wide indeed.
So the
first thing that is important is that we understand the reason for this.
Teni ngarang so pena shirtang ka ngarang ka apa mayin amayang mayin pogo yung mayin bi ngarang lan driwa ka ke menkeng ka tinti mo napa gargi tinti chila samlo tani teni korang dewan do na gao yore korang dungur me na gao yore te tinti yindi inna teni ta korang tarta dungur mambo yung yore korang dewa yo mare tinti yinna korang yang teni dungur ti me na gawa tang dewa yo na gawa rawan rawore ngarang ka apada ngarang ka amada ngarang tan rabore tinti yinna ti kola yang teni ta dungur ti me na samba tang teni dewa yo na samba teni yongder shego re.
So understanding the reasons behind our previously restricted scope of compassion, we find ourselves that irrespective of who it is we encounter, whether it be someone suffering through age or suffering through illness or whatever the case may be, that we are able to appreciate that they are absolutely equal to ourselves and our other loved ones in terms of their wish to be free of suffering, not to have suffering, and their great wish to enjoy happiness. So in appreciating that they are the same as ourselves in this way, it is possible for us to sincerely generate the wish that they, just as if it were our own mother or father, be free from suffering and attain happiness.
Teni ta terang aso tisu ka wang ngem do diz teni sha ka yan teni chorang so tezi jachimbu ra teni zamu ra po teni shisamna teni pesha ka shik ta go re tep ka shi nge tep ka shi teni chosola ngoto she ka yan se.
So today, because we haven't got much time, I'm not able to go into this practice in a very complex way. I've just given you the broad brushstrokes. But if you're interested in learning about more details, learning about this method and more profound aspects of it, then there's a couple of books I'd like to recommend.
밥정원조리 티 인지 이게 돌아요리 디나라더니 샴당 녀제당 더니 당뇽당 소 상마더니 참미비도 고미야 할리파 집차 야부요리 테타나페 야보레스.
And the first of these books is called The Words of My Perfect Teacher. It's written by Tsultrim Rinpoche, and it's available in English. And in this book, it has a very detailed, thorough account of the cultivation of loving kindness and compassion and equality, the cultivation of the four immeasurables. And this is a great book that people can consult.
Tenim kampung ngachung ko teni tri kangsang la mi jalong ko zimti ti tana ti zimti te tele champe jimmo hale ba yak boyores.
And then there is a commentary on this book by an author called Khenpo, and the commentary to this book, The Words of My Perfect Teacher, is even deeper and more detailed than the original text itself.
Teni ti thola teni shunjik ta gores.
And in addition to these texts is the book, The Way of a Bodhisattva.
Teni te mayim bajam bayang teni te nyangji ko la gomjab tang tang teni lojong shisar teni pe mamboz teni boyu ko tholan de tata inji ko thola mambo yosare te kyo so chathong ne na gane na char sort of gore te chunala jipcha jondr che mambo shisar thapshi mambo ndos.
And in addition to these books, there are many other texts from the Tibetan Buddhist tradition that deal with mind training and compassion. Many of them are available in English, they're available online, so these are all good sources that you could look at for more information and instruction on these practices.
Teni gomjab teso ti gomjab ser teso pe na nyamachik na la chiso chingda bo teni gomjab ni dawa chingda bo teni gomjab thamna chiso sumche thamba chiso ngapchi thamba teni gomjab thamna chosu semgana la ngerwa hale ba chimbo yong kore.
And it's possible by engaging in these kinds of practices, engaging in compassion practice for a period of 1 hour each day, around an hour each day for a period of a month. So 30 hours of practice or 50 hours of practice. With this, I assure you that you will experience great changes at the level of your mind.
Teni te gom jawya te chiri namjin teni gom magibna teni gom japi ka maimba namjin ngaso khomba yo pikap sena teni nyangji teni shamda nyangji korg teni pechate tana te halepa phantok yores.
So that's in terms of actual meditation practice. And then during free time, when we're not meditating or whatever, then reading about loving kindness and compassion is something that can also bring us great benefit.
Teni lamkhala lamkhor gagban da tedi teni lamkhor gan sangkha jap ji teni korkop thong da yang tindi kap te so korkop hale pa tisu thong re te yina di kap se teni ti ja nya da samlo ta tindu shina pantok pe yong res.
And even in small gaps in our day, for example, when we're sitting in the midst of traffic, heavy traffic, and even though these are very short periods, if we can bring these things to mind, then it can also contribute to great benefit.
Tani nga so tangbo tindi gomjab go re tani gomjab ni jondr chine soso la nyang je te yo charwi jini tani nga so leka le ya ta mangkhang ga na la japshi leka le wi ti kabla tani nyang je te so pesho tango re.
So after we have worked on cultivating and strengthening our compassion through practice after a period of time and have established a certain foundation, then at this point we are in a good situation to actually enter into the context of care.
Teni soso rang la teni de mange te yo charna 디 지니 되니 가서 배나 가게다 되니 나빠다 때서 등물 되니 망본 통되나 되니 디 냥지 메바창네 초라 메바도 자만는 좀 말이 디 냥지 지치지치지친 로레스.
After we've established a certain foundation in our compassion practice, we won't find that when we come into contact with the suffering of patients and elderly people in the context of our work, that our compassion will wither away or become less. In fact, we will find that, on the contrary, our compassion will only continue to grow much stronger.
되니 올라다 네 가서 되니 치카 다와 적은나라 되니 치킨자오 되니 그 몰라 간지 고네 생수시고 티콜라 데드샤 그연지 다 티수 간지도 아 약간만 정하나 또 시작인스.
Okay, so we've got okay. So we've got about 10 minutes left over, and in the remaining 10 minutes I'd like to give some thoughts on how a person facing death or near approaching death, so within around 6 months of death, can be counseled and advised.
되는 나초 낭추 때 토니샤나 되니 문치카마 된지지나 거랑 것들이 직접다 능물도 좀 망보즈 되니 돈다 니그 토니 연구 요레스 되니 송요레스.
From a Buddhist perspective, we say that for a person who is facing death, their pain and suffering chiefly derives from two sources.
되니 돈다 땅보디 강르지나 거랑 것 친디 돌라 되니 소소 되니 저 파마이나 거소 되니 녜사이나 다 양나 거랑 것들이 지 강바이나 거랑 공부보이나 되니 때솔라때 참만 점바 담보 요리 때소파 땅 마도비 디등머데 잡친시그레스.
The first kind of serious suffering that we speak of comes from the very tight attachment that the person who is dying feels for either people in their life or for objects in their life. So perhaps for their parents or children or for their houses and other possessions.
되니 거랑 거 멋세가 나라 되니 지지 용위 되니 지 약보지 기본라고 또 소셈가 나라 샤르니 또 소파 땅 마도니 다타 거랑 대당 갑자 고레 대 갑자 마드비 공도 되니 때 셈나니 빵 마도니 되니 등을 망보시 용건 누구지 돈당 보대 되레스.
And in addition to this, a lack of willingness or ability to let go of their sources or memories of happiness in this life, and accordingly a sense of suffering arises from this.
되니 니바드 강근 용거 알아서나 되니 코랑 로고나 사작 가와즈라 로고 되니 로비 오트 간디지 용거요 대자와니 시요 말에 뭐 가시 마토 시 말에 망치샤디 시 말에 가디 데지 시나요 양 코랑 운이 전인 로고이 값스 되니 양 도바 망보 용거 알아 되니 레와 망보 용거 레톡페 망보 용거 알아 되니 등물 망보 용거도 되니 바데리스.
And then the second major source of suffering that we speak of in Buddhism is that which comes from not knowing where it is ultimately that one is going at the point of death. Where is one going? And even people who know or have some thoughts about this, some firmness or beliefs at this, often find at the very point that they really are facing death that many doubts arise, or hopes and doubts of all kinds.
되니 돈다 땅보디 되니 탁저시야라 되니 가서 되니 보거든이 나한테 나라에나 디 문치카 마테솔라 되니 머딱 바디샤 그래지 되니 가서 게으래 되니 가서 냠도 초거래 되니 가서 파르자고래 되니 냠든 디바당 파르자와제야데 되니 우보거든이 춘이지리 디 춘이띵 가서 파르 각탑고 말이 디 춘이띵 가서 당린시고래 결한가 셈든지 그 또보마시 대지 양본라오지 되니 머딱 바지야데 결한치 보마래 가서 상마 딘디레 잠발랑 뭐 상마 딘디레제니 딘디제 그래서.
So one of the first things that we counsel people who are facing death about is impermanence. So that is from the very point that we are born, our life is one that is constantly of parting and meeting and parting. And this is not something that pertains to the dying person alone. It is a natural law that is experienced by everyone equally. For this reason, we encourage the person who is dying to be open in their mind and not tight in terms of their rejection of this.
Teni da chik na la teni shirgon ken ga mote so che ganti ze gre na nga so kap da shi na ko nga ngarang teni chok tok ko chapa cha chan ken ga mo zin ze yi jin bei pan le si xin de ren ze ne teni ze gre ze ko so nga so la teni ko rang ga teni ze gre yang na ko teni sam gre chok tok ko chapa cha chan ken ga mon ra wo re ze da bei teni ra wo yin se ne ko ti sam gre yang na ze gre ze na pa mo bo ze re kyo so la teni ka ja de chik shi na mo bo ko yu ji re
I've heard many people say, and I've also heard it often said about people facing death, that they feel like there's someone who has been given a death sentence. And in this situation, if you encounter someone who says this or feels like this, it's important that we assure them that it's not just you. All of us have been given a death sentence. We're all sentenced to death in exactly the same way. This is really not something that is just relevant to you. All of us have been judged in this same way. It's a natural law that applies exactly to all of us in the same way. And in actual fact, it might be that I die before you, and we have no way of knowing. This is completely possible. So by talking to them about the natural order of things and the principles underpinning the way that life and death works in this way, it's possible that the patient's minds can become more at ease. Chagin chimbo yosa korang go ngubonda da korang go kangba inna yana korang ni kang la gomo te zio na te so tindi yona teni te so korang la zhni korang ga dan dina la gozi korang rang la gobsha yak bo jamne korang ga sem par tsum ro ando tindi te she go ndus. And for people facing death who have a lot of attachment to various possessions they might have, for example, their cars or houses or savings in the bank, it's important that we ask them how they would like to allocate these resources and that they're able to say this.
Teni yang me mambo zika teni ta nga zu bobala yana teni yore zi kyo tsu teni nge samlo yo jire zi me mambo zika samlo dana ta nga rang shi sona teni nga rang ka shila yung keng ka bu tsu re to so teni yakbo yung ka ma re samne teni ka simtra pe chimbo yore zi.
In Tibet, people who are dying often think in this way. I would suppose that people here also think like this. That is, they worry a great deal about their own children and that their own children will not fare well after they have passed.
Teni tela samlo tane te mare te kyoranga samlo te norare kyoranga apa ama son rovi kapseyang teni samnyore te nganjo na ngi bugu teni da shijire yana moye shijire yana maka shijire sam teni samlo tangre de kyo jijire mendowa kyo yakbo mchechite e yakbo rendowa te dang chigbare ten zamala gam mambo zu sam go yore da ngune tane shana khorang rang son sarvi jini e mo khorang so chowa kan dikhe na ker kare te samlo tang go mare je ngune goyang go mare te nelik te so par kolab she go ndus.
So in this case it's important that we talk to them, we tell them that this isn't the case, that even though they fear that their children will suffer after they pass away, that they won't do well, that their own parents no doubt felt this way when they were dying. However, look at you. You were able to lead your life well enough. You were able to keep on going. And so it is. All people who are passing away probably have these fears, but the next generation is able to go about what needs to be done. And so there really is no need for you to fear in this way. It's important that we talk to them, we convince them of this logic.
Teni te nga so teni chu na la teni 보바가 치고 나라 땡디시네 삼로땅가 땡디 소소 잡거래지 팀미 망볼라 판통조 온도지 땡이 내 삼로땅 바였나 다때 티 가서 공라샤바티 수 임방 가서 보바가 치고 나라 샤바리 데나 티 출그 삼로 말때 우보랑가 내릭 땡디즈렌도 데나 내 삼로땅나 무슬라 땡디고 답다나 데고담 초그레 삼고도스.
So in the Tibetan tradition, this is the kind of counsel that we provide to people who are dying, and it brings them a great deal of benefit. However, I would say that this kind of advice and counsel is something that is definitely applicable to everyone, everywhere, and it's not necessary that it be regarded as a particularly religious or Tibetan kind of counsel. I have a feeling that it would be effective used in this context as well.
Teni nipada da korang teni da korang shigare teni korang shinada mebachakare sambanrawada yana garirendo samni tobati te mi mangchishu tobati dinane dumur dinane lebgo njistak dinane lebgo yores nipade.
And then in terms of the second cause of suffering, that is the fear and uncertainty about where a patient or where the dying person is going to go after death.
Tani shirtang gargi tindi chaksawi nerkab tani ta ngarang ga matsiti la tondag mendu tani rewa mendu ta tsama rewa tsama me charsong ta tondag mendu ta namshina shigit guni deya ma toba rintang chiching mendu samni tindi samgo yores.
Many old people find themselves having reached this point in life feeling very despondent, with a sense of loss of hope, feeling that their life now no has any meaning and that really they are just waiting for death.
Tani ti kapsa nga su gangze gozina tani nga su mushchika tani chechok dela tani korang chongi kawe nanda chimbo kawe nanda tana korang chikala yena tani korang ga rintang yore nami na ti korkuptu yore zi tani zi gondos.
So it's important in this situation that we counsel the person that in the course of a human life, regardless of when a person is young or when they are adult, or including when they are at the point of death, that their life is something that does have meaning.
Tani mutsi chimpo gonala nga chu karte nga chu sosorang ga sim go thone tani harchum ga namba tani shetabna mutsi chimpo tanan chikatsin chola rewa yosa ma to ba rewa mesa ga tani chigyang yo mares.
If we are someone who in the course of our life is very diligent and places a lot of emphasis on our minds or our inner selves, then there is not one single point in our life when we will be without hope, including the point at which we are approaching death.
Tani nga chun chiwala tenji tani njishtak yongwi jimtsin de gang rajana nga chun chiwa de gang hako yo mari jimtsin de tini res.
So the reason that we experience fear at the time of death derives from the fact that we don't know what's going to happen after this.
Tani nupshok tani tsechok tsari shengming keshe tsechok tsari ge nangchen tani da chiwi rigbazi siwang xue zigre chiwi rigbazi ji tani zin do tani da te la lo gya lo ji ma to yo ma re lo gya da simji tani yin.
Within the field of life sciences in Western science, there is a subfield, the science of death or the science of dying. And this is not a field with a particularly long history, just perhaps a history of 100 or 130 years.
Ti koranga ti rigba ti nga so lo gyada ni sum jitini zre. Yeah. Oh, ti koranga tini chiwa de tsawani muzum she tab gumman dozi.
Chiwa muzum she tab gumman.
Ti koranga chiwa siwang xue zi tin chiwa chin tsawani go yo mare.
However, within this subfield of science, the science of dying, they have no recognition or explanation of what death is.
Zambalang la tini tagan chiwa tinguni ndinjizilan chiwa zegre zini tini soarik baga tokla soarik bata chumluk tokla tarti parta ti tamshik chigir dinjiz shungyo mares.
And in fact, what constitutes death in secular disciplines, including medicine and the law, etc., is not something still that a consensus has been reached on.
Tini teza takshunda ote tini taga America Harvard lobta chimmo tini 소리 로랑 이슈연 하고 이슈연들을 근데 디 샤바테데스 따르탄 잠물랑 그때스 트락션다고 쓰는도스
And among the various units doing research into this, there is a research unit at Harvard University that is considered to be of relatively better stature.
디니 디코랑 그 라바가 디니 차풍 시바 시송나 디니 단 치발란 조건도지 데 계랑만 받다가 하고 그래.
However, their definition of death is when the brain cells die. This is the definition that they use, and no doubt medical staff here will be aware of this.
However,
it is not possible to explain death solely in this way. So because we have all kinds of explanations like this about what death and dying is, people naturally feel a sense of fear. In fact, how we should understand death is as a cyclic movement or as a cyclic process within life. And this is not some kind of mystical theory or explanation at all. It's possible for a person, a live person in this life, through training themselves in the appropriate way to gain this kind of accurate understanding of what death and dying is and what will happen when this point arrives. So when we fall into a very deep state of sleep, our sense consciousnesses gradually dissolve, they gradually disappear. However, as to the nature of this process, most of us don't have a very good understanding. And then as we gradually wake up from a very deep state of sleep, then gradually our mind and our sense consciousnesses return to us. However, the order of this process and how it comes about is not something really that anyone in the world has a good understanding of. Besides from looking at the operations or processes of the brain during the state of falling asleep and then waking, we don't understand this process through looking at the mind directly. But in actual fact, the principle underpinning falling into a deep state of sleep and then waking up from a deep state of sleep is the same as when we die.
티토라 짐슨 mambo주샤지요리 레팅아츠 테란 티츠문득 당 mambo주샤가 먼지 카르티초츠 티토라 데니 조아요나 무바요나 데니 보그 추고나라 따나 티토라 할리바 mambo샤요리 소소 냠린 시삼나 소소란 거요 시탑 그레스.
So today, because we don't have much time, I'm not able to talk about this in much more detail. However, if anyone does have a particular interest in this, then there is a lot of explanation and given in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition.
근데 인디 되니 가서 책쪽에야 돼 매바체가 말했더니 나빠솔라였나더니 교란 하리양 되니 그렇게 mambo진도 시차리 지라양 그렇게 mam보다 되니 시위 값이양 그렇게 mam보디 그렇게 mam보진도 또 가서 mam바속을 호종시네더니 고솔라 시리시리 ngo토시나페 판토용사레스.
So I think it would be of great benefit if doctors and others involved in caring for the dying were able to gain an understanding of this and then counsel people who were near dying about the fact that in actual fact this is not the end of life. In fact, there are ahead many more opportunities to live, and during the dying process itself there are many opportunities. If we were able to counsel people who were dying in this way, it would be of great benefit.
되니 가서 디츠거다 된디즈 마토 요사 말에 디닌 참작하는데 정말라 다시 데레지긴스.
So I think that brings us to time this morning. Thank you very much to everyone.